Have you ever wondered what it would be like to work with one of the absolute top tour coaches in the world? Well, I just had the opportunity to do so, and I drove all the way to LA to work with Dahlquist. Dana recently helped Bryson Dechambeau get his game back, shooting 58 and winning tournaments, but he also helped a guy that was a bouncer at a nightclub 3 years ago to win on the PGA Tour this week, Jake Knapp. Dana allowed me to video the full lesson that I had with him. So in this video, you're going to watch me get a lesson from the number 9th ranked coach in the US, according to Golf Digest, Dana Dahlquist.
Is there anything here that is out of the ordinary? Our sample size is one swing.
Yeah.
So, but your side bend's fine, pelvis bend. You're wearing all black, so I'm gonna say maybe. You get to P2. Really good.
Okay.
So you hit the brakes real well. You do go up a little bit, which is good. So
okay. You
have a vertical. So one of the things I'm looking for is for you to create rotation, you can't do it without moving. Okay, I know okay, if you were like a bad golfer,
yeah.
Okay, I do tell people not to move and just learn to turn. Well, the problem is when you do that, you're not loading your system, and especially like your pelvis. So what you do from this point, and it is better, you get about 70 degrees of turn, it looks like. Yep, 70 degrees of turn. You're to the right at this point. What's a little interesting to me, this might be part of your thoracic issue.
Yeah.
Your chest is 0.6 forward, your pelvis is 0.8, or 0.6 right.
Yeah.
Your lower body's 0.8 right. So this is a little more right than this.
I've seen that. Yeah. I've always noticed that, especially back in the day, I always had this kind of bump and then I stay here.
Yeah.
So that's obviously a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's kind of the opposite we want, isn't it?
Yeah. So what I would look at particularly is that this lead lat right here protracts this shoulder more across and away from your chest more like that. Okay. So this lat lengthens as you go into your backswing.
Okay, so almost like pushing it away from
yeah, protracting.
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time, that even feel
Yeah. That has to happen.
Yeah.
So if that happens, it should pull the rib cage a little more that way.
Yeah.
Now, here's the issue with ground force reaction. So just the name itself, reaction, means that you should react to it. Now, it's not that the earth's pushing away from you or anything like that. It's you're creating an actionable force into the ground that you intuitively, as an athlete, have to push away from. Now, the more you obviously do that, the more force you can create under some control. Yeah. So as you keep pushing and you go to P4 up here at the top, your still upper body's more forward than your lower, even though this looks great. And this is interesting, your chest bend extends.
So that means I go up this way?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
So, and then we'll look at your pelvis on another sample size. It's not bad, but here's the issue. I don't see you go here and go down. You go down a little late. So typically I see guys, or ideally, there should be a little bit of wind and down through the transition. Yeah. Not after the transition. So
kind of like when you're still going back, it kind of goes down a little. Okay.
Correct. And that'll change why your lead arm looks bent all the time.
All the time. And narrow, bro. And everyone has always told me okay, you need to feel wider in the downswing, right?
No.
It's the absolute, I can't hit a golf ball when I do that. Okay.
No,
it's good.
Yeah. Well, why are you pulling down on the shaft? Well, there's two elephants in the room. Number one, you're more back. So if I'm more back, I'm I can't get to the ball. Yeah. So then I shorten the radius to hit the ball.
To not hit it fat, right?
Correct. So that's one topic. But you're also not pushing forward and down enough. Now the solution in my mind, because you're a good player, would not be anchor more left and do it, because you just pulled the athlete out. Yeah. Which is what people typically do. They go, oh, well, be more centered, therefore you'll make better contact. Well, yeah, but you pull the athlete out of the system. Okay. So I would learn how to transition differently. And then the other little elephant in the room is your trail hip internal rotation is nil.
I've never been able to open my hips. I see every video online, right? Their hips are open, their shoulders are closed.
Yeah.
I'm always like this and no rotation.
That's another reason why your arms bend.
Okay.
So, and then your wrist goes into extension right there a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's flat-footed.
I've also always been flat-footed.
You said
Yeah.
the trail.
There's so many elephants in the room.
3 big old elephants, bro.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're all kind of interrelated,
Okay.
so that's the good news. Now, you can train some of these things into it. Now, this would actually be a good conversation with UGP.
Yeah.
How did they talk to you about your trail femur or trail hip?
Yes, it's like even my foot and my hamstrings and calves are all tight, because before I was almost on the outside of my right foot. I couldn't put all the pressure points in the foot didn't touch the ground, because anything that makes me rotate right was not good.
Okay.
So like even I think I'm pretty sure that was limited in the mobility too.
So that's a fascial line that's all connected.
Yeah.
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 That's why I like those guys.
Yeah.
Because they talk about the right stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, let's set up to no ball for a minute. I'm going to kind of give you two things.
Okay.
So when you get to about P3, we're going to add the first cue, which is the lead lat feeling more protracted, more there,
Yeah.
like that on the backswing. Now, from that point, you're going to keep winding and dropping down.
Yeah.
Okay? Yep. Keep
Hit
doing
the
that.
ball.
Really overdo that protraction, like you almost lose control of, lose control of that shoulder blade a little bit.
Okay.
Cool.
Didn't feel like enough down, but I did feel.
That's okay.
Woo! It's gonna be a stretch.
If you look at your rib cage, so your rib cage has, like, it's just here. It's in front of my spine. Then my scaps are like floating on top of the rib cage. So as I rotate and I finish at the end of the range of rotation, this protracts, this retracts. And that actually loads the system up. Now, it's not a rubber band going on, but neurologically there's a stretch response to that.
Yeah.
So if you're always like this, where this doesn't protract, you don't get that through the core.
Yeah.
Okay, so from this view here, this is really cool. So now, at lead arm parallel, you're more turned. Your pelvis is less to the right than the chest.
Yeah.
See how the chest is 2 inches right?
Yeah.
And the pelvis is more centered at 3.
Do we still want those to be kind of?
This is way better.
Okay.
So before you were the opposite.
Okay.
Your hip was more right, your chest was more left. That's the opposite. So now as you wind,
Wow. What a turn! Never turn like that.
so now you have more turn.
Yeah.
And there's a little more lowering going on through that phase. So if you look at like Xander or something like that, through here to here, they're actually dropping.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know the videos you sent me. You can see that so clearly. He like really gets down there.
Yeah. And it's not a lateral per se, even though you are going to the right. When you go to the right, the response is to push back.
Yeah.
When you push up, the response is to push down, or drop down. So you're kind of blending that whole system to happen through obviously training. And then we're going to look at what the response is to the arm is better. So see how it's less pulled.
Yep. Absolutely. For me, that's a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah. But the other elephant in the room is your trailed knee is still external. Still.
So it's still like that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that needs to move into the ball more than that.
Yeah. Now here's the trick. This gets really complicated. So
That's why we're here.
How do we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
So let's jump over there. If you look at long drive guys, okay, the only reason why we might use them is because they're doing things to the extreme.
Yeah.
So when you look at Kyle Berkshire, he's like this in transition. Both hips are going internal.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're both, because they're both like, this is braking.
Yeah.
This is pushing. So it's a break and a push. Now very similar to like a batter. If you look at batters, they're watching my heel.
Yeah.
They get into the hip.
Oh yeah, true. Go
Go
like
into
that.
the right hip and go forward.
Yeah.
And that foot goes that way. So part of the training to this is as you get to this position and you wind, this heel, observationally,
Yeah.
would land closer to the target.
I think you shared a story of someone in Korea doing that.
Yeah, because they had to get more forward.
Yeah.
So that's a good indicator. And then when that occurs, you're pushing from the ball of your foot back. We call that an anterior to posterior push.
Okay.
That'll unblock the right hip. Because if I push up, I have nowhere for the hip to go.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want you to push this back and drive this forward.
So like there and there. Kind of. Okay.
So go to the top, land here. Okay, now straighten this leg behind you. Keep going, get this back, keep going, and drive this hip internal to the target. There you go, so like this is back, do that again. Straighten this back, drive this forward. There you go, so this is straightening early and getting back, and this is driving
forward
to here. I feel like the right hip's higher and going to me. There you go. Yeah. Yep, kind of like that. And then keep pushing this internal all the way around. Oh, that's different. Can I just film that?
Without ball?
Without a ball. Aim a little more to your right there. There it is. So that's called AP force, or anterior posterior force.
Okay.
Okay, because you're pushing toe to heel.
Yeah.
So your left foot can push in 3 directions, or all of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So when it accepts force and you hit the brakes, you can push up, you can push back, and you can push away.
So I need to push away, and this needs to push in.
Yeah.
Left, push away, this in.
Drive it.
Drive it, yeah. Okay.
Now there are some workout things you can do to integrate that.
Perfect.
Watch how much better this looks. So we solve the backswing.
Yeah.
Land, so see how your lead knee is internal?
Yeah.
Trail knee is internal.
Yeah. And then this actually goes in, maybe.
See the right hip and the knee?
Yeah. At least it's trying to, right?
Yeah.
But that's what you see from good. They like kind of go like this through the ball with the foot,
it's
right?
like wham.
Yeah,
that way.
but they don't go like that. It's like there and then.
I want you to do the other one.
Oh,
I do.
More like, feel like more like that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because if the more you go this way,
Yeah.
this stays bent too long.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
want
you don't want to do that, right?
No.
To be like that.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
Look what your handle did.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Land, internal, and then internal drive. Yep, and straighten the leg behind you, drive the hip all the way around. There you go. It's like your right hip's pointing over there. There you go. So it's like you watch The Chosen One, his foot, like he would go boom, like that, his hip would go over there.
Is that the chosen one? Is who?
Tiger.
Okay. Still the chosen
That's
one.
on video. Our focus is on the downswing stuff. So I'll kind of wrap this all together with, okay, how would I do, and it's a long conversation, like how would I do this through like physical training?
Good.
Which I'm kind of big on with this stuff.
Would love that. It's a perfect season for it too.
Yeah. Okay, watch this. Internal.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Straighten the left leg earlier.
Yeah.
Better. Internal, better on that hip.
Yeah. Could be better, but better.
Better,
Yeah.
way better.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about the phases of this. Okay, so
Phases
there's
of this.
3 phases.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna give you a little speech why we need to do this. Okay, so one of the things that's interesting, like in your first phase, which is very, very important because the loading of what you're doing in your body is gonna create a reaction, how it unloads, right? So you've heard of like kinetic chain and all that kind of stuff? Okay, so like if there's a deficiency on loading this scap, okay, it's directly influencing the whole back chain of your body, including how you load your glutes and your hamstrings. So this is all interconnected to this. It's not separate.
Yeah.
So like if you're undervaluing like that left lat,
Yeah.
you're undervaluing how you're loading your trail glute.
Yeah.
It just is. So as you work towards that wind up and that length will allow you better timing to drop down and left. Okay, and i.e. in doing that, keeps the radius more forward so you keep more length.
Yeah.
Now to me, that's like You need that done in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Has to be done. Like there's no compromise on that.
Yeah.
Part 2.
When you say like just grind for 2 weeks.
That has to be done.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise, the second part doesn't really work as well.
Okay.
Then the second piece is going to be creating the AP force. So when you're down, you're pushing toe to heel, driving this straight pretty early.
Yeah.
Driving this internal pretty early.
Yeah.
That's your engine, essentially. Like
Yeah.
getting, even spiral that foot up.
Yeah.
I don't care if it looks like Brooks, where it's like this.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, just let it happen. Okay, now, the last thing to this is vertical force. What do you think happens to your vertical force currently?
I don't think it's that much vertical, is it?
No.
No, that's what.
No. It kind of goes linear for a long time.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. And linear, it does have vertical, but we call it like you have a bunch of this going on in your swing.
Yeah.
Like a Ferris wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And when that occurs, your left knee stays in flexion for too long.
Yeah.
Your cuts are probably, if you were to cut it, you would block cut it, or you'd artificially try to swing the swing direction away to the left to do it.
100%.
That wouldn't be a very good idea.
No.
Okay, so the last piece is adding vertical.
Okay.
So as I go there,
Yeah.
boom, it goes that way.
Okay.
So then you're gonna be able to push that way as much as you can. Now you're gonna do it without a ball. Yep, jump. Yep, that's kind of what I want. Okay. Now I'm gonna film you doing that.
Yeah.
It needs to be pretty early. There you go. Better, it could be a little bit more.
Okay.
Left leg could be straight by then.
Yeah.
And then you have vertical, I want to see that foot.
Way earlier though, right?
Earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it there. Way
So
earlier.
this is what we do in the gym. So like in the gym,
Yeah.
I go, okay, you're probably going to get a program on your thoracic spine, which is good.
Yeah.
And then what we would do is we go, okay, like that has to be addressed, right, in the off season.
Mm-hmm.
So that thoracic spine left lat, and then from that point, we get that to land, this to spiral very, very early from this point, because we want this to stretch, right?
Yeah.
This is pushing back and up out of the ground before you hit the ball.
Way earlier.
Like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can do it. So wind, slam. No, don't drop the arms down. Leave it all up there. Cool. There we go. He actually got his foot to move. So you see how wide that is?
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't like not being dragged down on. Okay? And you're forward, you're already down and you're already pushing vertical.
Yeah.
So now you're pushing, watch this reaction. See the foot's moving? And look how your right hip gets around. So that's
Sick.
kind of your MO. Like you have those three little things that you're just gonna kind of spin plates on.
Yeah.
Like I said, big precedent on the loading piece. Secondary is getting that hip to go internal while that's straightening. Vertical's last.
Yeah.
Vertical has to be early, it just has to be last.
This is the last kind of piece to the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That
Actually
looks-
hit it pretty good there.
That looks nice.
We're gonna wrap up the video there after that good shot, and all I can say is that that was a fantastic lesson, and it was a really cool experience working with one of the absolute best coaches in the world. And Dana is actually a tour coach that gives lessons to the regular guy as well. So if you want to work with Dana, you can find his website in the description below and book a lesson. Maybe you're a bouncer and you also want to become a PGA Tour winner, hit him up. And that's it for this video. Make sure you like and subscribe. There's going to be a lot more content together with Dana moving forward. And we have some really exciting news about the future and Hannah's golf game. So stay tuned for that.